Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you guys are having a good week so far. Welcome to another episode of the series. And today, what we're going to be looking at is enabling the Identity Awareness Blade. So let's go ahead and get into it. So, of course, you're going to want to make sure that your firewall and management server and things like that are powered on your topology. Mine's already fired up, so I'm just going to pop in over here. I'm already logged into Smart Console. Okay. And so as of right now in the series, all we have is the Firewall Blade enabled on the Miami firewall. So let's go ahead and double click on the object. And let's go ahead and click on Identity Awareness. Now, what is this blade? So this blade's essentially going to give us, like it says here in the description, provides user and machine visibility across software blades, enables the creation of identity-based access policies for application and resource control. So essentially, in your security policy, instead of just having, policies set to objects or address ranges and things like that, you can start to use users. So you can limit it to certain, access roles, certain groups of users, things like that. All right, so let's go ahead and click on it, and let's see what it's going to take us to. So it's going to take us to this page here. It says AD query. So, 9 times out of 10, a large majority of use cases will rely on the AD query. So it's just going to pull the Active Directory information, which will give you a seamless connection and again get you those users and computers from your AD server. And then you do have browser-based authentication too. So this can actually, what we could do here is we can launch a captive portal. So if we don't know the identity of a machine for whatever reason, we can actually have it prompt for the user to log in with their AD credentials, which will then associate the user to the activity, whatever activity is that they're doing at that time, and it'll show in the logs. So that could be useful for a machine that is not an AD or a mobile device or something like that. So we'll go ahead and enable that as well. Okay. So select an Active Directory. So at this point in the series, we haven't really connected to an Active Directory server yet. So in the previous video, we created it. It was called checkpoint.local. Okay. And what we want to do is actually, so before we do this, let's go ahead and make sure that the username that we have is located in the administrators group. That's going to be important to make sure it has the right permissions. So let's actually right click and go to the console on our AD server. This little button right here is Control-Delete, and go ahead and log in. All right, so once you're logged in, you'll get the Server Manager dashboard, and we can go to the ADUC in the Tools section, Active Directories, Users, and Computers. And I believe I only have Billy Martin at this point, so we'll go ahead and double-click this. And again, if you need to get the actual username, you can go to Account. So B Martin's my username. And if we go to Member Of, we can see I'm just part of domain users. So let's go ahead and add this to the administrators group. Okay. Administrators, perfect. Domain admins, is a member of administrators. Okay. So that's good. That should be fine then. All right, so we can close this. Let's head back over here. And now we can use B Martin. Let's see, hopefully I remember my password. Domain controller is going to be based on our topology. The AD server right here, 172.16.10.100. That it? Okay, perfect. There we go. Successfully connected. Next, so the browser-based authentication settings. So this is how you would define the rule. Just gives you an example policy in the access control policy. So we can work on that later. We'll build out a rule and test it. And right now the URL is going to be hosted off our gateway, which is 10.0.0.1 off this interface, and then /connect. Okay, it's now active and should be good. So what's next? Let's add an access role to security policy install policy, browse to the captive portal, and then view logs. So let's go ahead and work on that. Okay. Let's go ahead and install policy for right now. Okay, meanwhile, let's start firing up our AD joined desktop, Windows Endpoint 1. Okay. And I don't think this has internet yet. I don't think this machine's been natted. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys actually something a little bit easier we could do for the natting, so we don't have to do each individual object or the address range. So let's go back to our management here. So we have the host section over here, so I know I individually natted the DMZ server, and we did the management endpoint. But a little bit easier way to do this, just so we don't have to keep doing each, again, an individual object. Let's actually just hide the internal networks behind the gateway's external IP. Okay, it'll just automatically NAT everything as an internal network. So for example, let's just go to our network management, make sure everything's defined as an internal network. So we have ETH2, ETH0, ETH1's external, and ETH3 is DMZ. So 0 and 2 are internal. 0, 2 is internal, 3 is DMZ, and 1's external. Okay, so let's just double click here and go to modify. Again, this one's DMZ, so let's go to override, interface leads to DMZ. And we can just say, according to topology, we'll change the security zone. Okay. And we'll do the same thing over here, except we'll do, yeah, that's fine. We'll just label this as internal zone. Okay, we'll do the same thing here, except we'll label it as external zone. And you can actually use these zones to build out policy as well, to create access control rules. Okay, great. So we can actually remove the NAT rule from these. And let's push policy with those changes. All right, let's move over to our Windows endpoint and see your machine needs to be restarted in order to enable full disk encryption protection. Would you like to restart now? No, let's do that later. So that was from our last video where we pushed Sandblast agent onto this box, but we'll take care of the FDE later. Internet should work now that's being natted. If not, let's double check our adapter options here. DNS is the AD server, okay. Policy is probably still pushing. Nope. Well, let's see if we could ping out. Oh, okay, we can ping out. What's going on here? Oh, can't connect securely to this page. Outdated. Oh, there we go. I think it just took a while to push policy. We didn't have an eye on this. No worries. Okay, it's just like start doing random stuff. Okay. And we'll filter the logs for this address and see if we have the user, which we should. Hey guys. Alright, so I just did a quick cut over. I actually had to do a little bit of troubleshooting. As you guys could just briefly see before I cut over, we weren't getting anything in the source username. And what I'm guessing happened is, for whatever reason, the nested administrator wasn't playing nice. Since I added Billy Martin to the administrators, which was then a member of the domain admins, I'm not sure if it didn't like the nesting or what it was, but what I did was I just went and actually just updated the credentials with administrator, and it worked fine. So just the like actual user administrator, the one that we've been using to log in to the AD box itself. Quick way you could do that to update the credentials without having to restart identity awareness. You can go to servers on the right hand side over here. Go to LDAP account units. That was weird. I click on the wrong button. Anyways, I must have clicked on the wrong button. Anyway, so LDAP account units. Double click on this. And if you go to, where is it? Servers, and you go to LDAP servers, update account credentials, you can actually just pop in the username. Okay. I think this might have changed. So you can update that as well and just put in the password that you used to set up whatever it was with the administrator credentials on your AD box. All right. So once that's all set up, that's it. Everything was working great on my end, and we can see here now that this source IP address, 10.200, which is our Windows LAN box, is getting the source username of Billy Martin, which is the AD user that I have logged in. Okay, we can double click on this, and we can see we do get the user. Okay, Billy Martin, and we also do get the machine as well. Okay, so desktop-5ons44v at checkpoint.local, which would be the fully qualified name of this object. All right, so let's play around a little bit with some policy. Let's take a look at the captive portal. So I think it's actually a great segue to jump into the application control blade. We can use that to build out a policy that says, hey, Facebook, for Billy Martin, something like that, kind of like a, real use case scenario. So let's actually do that before we start playing around with the policy and the captive portal, so we can really see how, again, it could kind of be utilized in a real world situation. So again, let's go here. Again, we have all of our blades. Go ahead and enable application control, and go ahead and click on OK. Okay, publish. Probably have to install policy as well, so we'll do that just in case. While we're waiting, if we go here, edit policy, we go edit layer, do applications and URL filtering. Okay. Click on OK. And on here, there we go. So we have Facebook. Perfect. So let's go ahead and create a new rule above. It says no Facebook for Billy. And what we'll do is we'll actually create a source using Billy as a single defined access role. So we can call this access role like no Facebook, right? So it could be utilized for multiple people. Obviously, we could change the name of the policy. And so you'd go to of course, you could do any user, but if you just want to have specific users or groups, you can spec out in your Active Directory environment a security group for no Facebook or something like that. Or again, you can just use the users, right? So we'll give this some time to pull. Okay, and if you didn't see, I unchecked these two. This just gives us the users. So let's put Billy Martin in here. And go ahead and click on OK. So he's part of the no Facebook access role, which we can then scope into this. And we'll just do no Facebook for. Yeah, we'll just do no Facebook. Okay. Log it. And if we come in more, you can see there's a couple additional things you could do. But let's actually, while we're at this, let's do captive portal. And let's do, we'll just use no Facebook because we know Billy Martin's the only one in it right now. We'll do accept. Log. Again, so Facebook. Okay. This one we'll do YouTube. And we'll do more. Enable identity captive portal. Okay, so if it doesn't have the identity, it'll bring up the captive portal when trying to access YouTube. Alright, so let's go ahead and install policy and take a look. Okay, so let's go to our Windows endpoint. Actually, I already had Facebook open. And that's not good. So I was actually doing some testing. And I might have messed something up. So actually, let's do this real quick. Might as well show you guys this command while I have you guys. So it's pdp monitor all. Okay, good sign here. So what I did was I actually revoked the association of the AD query to the 172.16.10.200 IP address, which is the endpoint that we're on, because I wanted to test out the captive portal. So what we can actually do is we can actually try to, oh great, so we can actually try to go to YouTube first. It'll hopefully pull open the portal, authenticate, and then try to open Facebook. It shouldn't work. Actually, no, because it doesn't know that we're Billy Martin. So actually, scratch that. One thing we can do is actually lock the machine, unlock it, and I can actually show you here that the 10.200 is now being detected by the AD query as Billy Martin. Okay. So now, if we try to go to Facebook, it shouldn't work. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Just to double check. Yeah. No Facebook. Perfect. And of course, it's not going to bring up the captive portal because it knows that we're Billy Martin. So we would actually have to We would have to use like a machine that's off Active Directory, I believe, to test the captive portal. What we'll do is that we'll actually use this as a segue into the next episode, which will be next two episodes are going to be HTTPS inspection and remote access VPN. So what we could do is we can actually use our host machine as the remote access VPN. In this case, my host machine is not joined to the domain. I think that'll be the best way to test this. So we'll go ahead and save the captive portal for the next video. But for right now, I think we're good on the identity awareness. We did, built out some test policy. It showed that Facebook wasn't working, and we got it, of course, set up and connected to the Active Directory server. If there's anything else you guys want me to look into in regards to this particular blade, feel free to comment below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned. I'll be uploading the next ones very shortly. Thanks, and have a good one. Bye-bye.